In this video, we want to go to the World Bank's World Development Indicators, download data for carbon dioxide, kilotons, and then plot it and examine the difference between the amount of CO2 released by Canada and Germany. So we'll compare those two countries. So just go to your browser, type World Development Indicators, and once you search, it's going to bring you here to the World Bank database. I'm going to click on it to open. Now you just have to be careful as you go about searching this database. You have four main things you have to take care of: the database, country, series, and time. I'll click here to go to the database. Once I do that, I'll choose the Millennium Development Goals. Very important for you to choose it. Let me see. I'll close this, say OK. Yeah, just make sure you've chosen the Millennium Development Goals. It's very important, and you can see that here. Okay. Now the next thing we want to do is country. I'll click here to select everything. You can see 263. Next is series. What do we want to search for? We want to search for the CO2 kilotons. So I'll go to C, click on C to filter it, and here I have CO2 kilotons. So if you do that, you can't find that, please go back to database and make sure you choose the Millennium Development Goals, okay? Because if you leave this as the default, you will have a hard time finding that. So we have chosen all the countries. Now for the series, we have CO2. I'm going to click to select that, drop it, and then go to time. Time, we want to select every available year that's here. So I'm going to click that to select everything. Now, if you do, let me toggle this, you can see that you have 1, 2, whatever you have here, 1, and then that. So I'll click apply for it to apply it, to load it. And once that is loaded, I have to come and download the data. So I'll click the drop down, and then I'll take Excel. I'll click on Excel. It's going to drop it into my download folder. Once that happens, I'll open a blank Excel workbook. So I'm going to open a blank Excel workbook, and when I get into the blank Excel workbook, I'll now import the data and clean it using a tool called Power Query. So I'll come and click here for blank Excel workbook. Let me expand it so that we can see everything. And once you get here, you want to go to data. It's very important that you follow the steps. If you just double click and open that data set in Excel, you will not be able to do what I'm doing. So it's important you follow the steps. So I'll click on data. I'll go to get data. I know that I downloaded an Excel file. So I'll go to from file and I'll take Excel workbook. This will enable me to navigate to where my data set is. Once I do that, I will scroll. Well, a dialog box is going to appear. I'll go to my download folder, and this is the data I downloaded. I'll click import to import it, and we see this dialog box that's going to appear that will enable me to take it somewhere else. So I'm going to choose data. This is what I'm interested in. I want that data, not this one. We are not interested in the meta, we are interested in this. So I'll take transform data. Once that happens, it's going to load it in what we call Power Query. Power Query is an Excel add-on. So now that I'm here, I want to keep certain columns and get rid of some other ones. But before we do that, you can see that the years are here. We want to unpivot the years so that we put it in one column. So it's very important that you follow the steps I'm going to go through right now. So select this and hold down your shift button and select basically the first 4. You do not select the years. So once you've done that, we want to unpivot what we have there. I will go to transform And within transform, I see on pivot columns. I'm going to click on the drop down and I will take on pivot order columns. I'll click on pivot order columns, and there we go. So now we have the years which are in there. You have the value there. I'll come here, I'll click on that heading, double click, and give it and call it year. Now I want to get rid of these extra parts which are there. So I'm going to go to transform and I'll look for extract. Here we have extract. Okay, I'm under the transform ribbon. Go to extract, click on extract and take first characters. So I want to extract the first 4 characters and get rid of the other ones. So I'll click on first characters and I'll put 4 here to say I want to extract the first 4 characters. Okay, and that is it. So I've extracted the first 4 characters, the other ones are gone. The next thing I want to do, I don't need this series code. I'll just click on it and hit delete on my keyboard. If you don't have a keyboard, right click and you use remove. Okay, you can do that. Same thing, everything is CO2, so I don't need to have the name of the CO2 series name because I know everything is CO2. I'm also going to remove it. I don't need this code for countries. I'll click and also remove it. Now we said we want to keep just 2 countries, Canada and Germany. So I'll click the drop down menu for countries. I'll click load more so that I can see all the countries. And now I'll click select all to get rid of everything, to, well, uncheck everything. Then I'll scroll down to C. I'll take Canada. I'll go all the way to G and I'll take Germany. And here we go. I'll say OK. Feel free to take any other country you like, but I'll keep these ones for now. Okay, next thing we want to do, we just check the data type to make sure everything is fine. So here we have ABC. We don't want that. We want to have a date type. So you will click this drop down. Well, it's not a drop down. You'll click this icon where you see ABC, click it and take date because we want to convert it into date type. Here you have ABC and 1 to 3. You don't want that. You want it to be 1.2. So you will click that icon and take decimal, which is 1.2. So that's it. Now the next thing you want to do, you check this. The country name is ABC. This is date. This is number. If you want, you can arrange it in a way that you like, or I'll just leave it like that. Fantastic. That's the end of what we want to do in terms of preparing our data. Now we will take it into Excel. So I'll go to home, click on home, click on close and load, and it's going to take a few seconds and load it in Microsoft Excel. Now once we are here, we now want to pivot this data. Let me slightly increase the size so that everyone can see. Awesome. Okay, right now I'm going to go to just click anywhere inside your data. If you click out of your data, you'll get into trouble. Click inside, go to insert. If you find pivot table, good. If you find table, click table, then it's going to take you to pivot table. I'll click on pivot table. Don't change anything except the default. In case you have the option of table and range, you want to choose table and range and you want to OK. Once you do that, it should take you to something that looks a bit like this. Now the first you want to do is to take year and put it where you have row. So you click, you hold, you drag, you drop it there. The second thing you want to do is to take country, hold, drag and drop it where you have columns. And finally you take value, you drop it where you have values. Now you can see it's sum of value. You don't want that. Click on top of value, click on value field setting, take average, number format, number, make sure you have 2 decimal places, OK, and OK. So that's what you have. Now, the final thing you want to do is to be able to plot that data, because just having it like this is not very interesting. You want to plot it to see what's going on. So we are going to click on pivot chart. We'll go to line, and then we will do OK. Now, once we've done that, it's very strange because we seem to have data that goes all the way to 2014. So we don't have data for above 2014. Doesn't really matter, because at this point, we just want you to see the methodology. So it would have been great to have data that goes beyond that period. So it seems for this particular indicator, we don't have data that goes beyond that period. So it's likely if we had chosen a different series, we would have had data that goes beyond that period. But the key here is for you to know how to get your data and how to plot it and get there. So once we are here, you can increase the size, and let's see. Yeah, you can see what is happening. You can see that for Canada, it seems to be going up. For Germany, it's going down. So next time we meet, we are going to see how to use a different indicator, but the indicator will be based on your selection of the Sustainable Development Goal. So how do you take this to Microsoft Word? So I'm going to open a blank Word document. Blank Word document. I will go back here, right click on my chart, copy it, and then I'll go to my Word document. I will right click and paste. Now it's important for you have to be careful here. You want to paste it either as a pic. You don't want to keep the source formatting, because if you keep it, what happens is that if anything changes in Excel, it's going to also change what you have here. So I'll just paste it there. Okay, I'm having things playing games. Then you can come here and do some adjustments so that you can move it and put your name there. So basically, that's what you're doing. And here you want to write what you observe. Okay, it's important to write a few comments. Now, let me just show you a last thing to make your diagrams look better. It's important to have to insert at least a title and things like that. So make sure the diagram is active. You can go to design, and under design, you can rapidly come here and just choose. Let me see. If you choose layout 10, you can see that layout 10 gives you the opportunity to add the chart title. You can give it a chart title, blah, blah, blah. You can go to axis title. Here we have year. And axis, 8 kiloton of CO2. So that's basically it, and you can write what you are observing across time. What's going on? You can see at a particular point in time, Germany was polluting way more than Canada. At this point, they are still polluting more than Canada, but you can see the gap is decreasing, but they are polluting more than Canada. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, that's it for this exercise, and I'll see you in class. So just print one, it should be one page, that's all. You comment, you print one page, and you bring it in class, and we'll move on from there.